Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Doctoral Journey with Derek. I am your host, Dr. Derek Robinson, and I welcome you back. It's been a minute, been kind of working on some things, so I've been out of pocket for a while, but now I'm back, and we'll be back with our podcast and things like that. Before we begin, I want to put a plug on April 13th. We will have a live webinar, so check out the webpage for that. Check out my sites or however you access me for Ambitions of a Writer, the webinar free for everybody, where we talk about the 5 mindsets of prolific writers. Make sure you're there. Would love to have you all in attendance, so you can register easy on the webpage. Once again, you can find me on any place you get this access. You can get my webpage, and I'll make sure I drop the link here, so you'll have that. Today, we're going to talk about one of the things that we will address in more depth on the podcast webinar that we will do on April 13th. And that is developing a research productivity plan. The way I have it set up, it looks like a conveyor belt with different buckets and baskets along the way. And we'll talk about a way to stay productive in the research writing plan. Of course, you know that writing is a lot more than the actual process of touching keys on a keyboard. You have to have gathered literature, you have to organize and develop that literature, you have to have a theming plan and everything before you actually get down to the writing. And even once you're done with the writing, there's a step after that, because you just can't give a first draft. So it's proofing and things you can do after that. All of that is handled in Mastering the Literature Review, which is a course that I teach, and also a coaching program that I have, a coaching curriculum. So you can access all of that there. But once again, those are the things that we'll talk about at the webinar. But also today, we're going to start touching on this productivity plan. So I want you to envision a conveyor belt where you have 5 conveyor buckets that one dumps to the other one dumps it to another, and the other one dumps it to that one, and you just keep on going. And on this conveyor belt are 5 buckets that you keep rotating, you keep in motion. So the 5 productivity buckets are this. If you're ready, let's go. The first one is information gathering. That is bucket number 1, where we actually gather the information for a research project. So we'll talk about everything involved with that. The second is blueprinting and outlining. Blueprinting and outlining your research is an important part of the writing process. So that is a bucket in and of itself. So you go from information gathering to the bucket of blueprinting. From the bucket of blueprinting, you move to the third conveyor belt bucket, and that is analysis and writing. Now, once you've gone through gathering information, moving it over into the blueprinting and outlining, you then move it to analysis and writing. Now you're writing. And once you've completed that process, you move it to the submission bucket. And this is a bucket that contains all of the projects that you have submitted to a respective peer-reviewed journal. And then you're still not done. Because if you know anything about the submission to peer-reviewed journals, no one comes through unscathed. You will get a revise and resubmit if you're accepted. Now you're in the revision stage. If you're in the revision stage, whether you have been rejected or you're revise and resubmit, because hopefully, if they have rejected your manuscript, they should have given you some advice going forward and the reason why you were rejected, and you can take that advice and then do your revisions and then find another home for your work. So those are the 5 buckets. Once again, information gathering, blueprinting and outlining, analysis and writing, submissions, and then revisions as your 5 buckets on this conveyor belt of your productivity plan. So